Welcome to Thursday Talks at Heal Black Joy. In today's conversation, we're going to be talking about abundance mindset. And I cannot wait to have this conversation because we are wrapping our mindset series tonight. So I am super duper excited about bringing on our special guest. My name is Lola Troy, the host and curator of Heal Black Joy, the learning platform for our community to heal our Black joy with tangible and attainable programs for the mind, body, soul, relationships, and businesses. And I'm so happy to bring on our guest. I'm trying to see if she gets in here. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, lady. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am good. I am so good. I want to tell the good people about you and just give you the proper introduction. Tonight, our guest is Nyabingha Zianni. She is a motivational speaker, healer, spoken word poet, and most importantly, a mother, you guys.
Yes.
She is a sister who wears many head wraps, and she wears them well. Her mission is to advance the revolutionary healing of Black women and Black girls. She does this unapologetically in spaces that are sacred, nurtured, and very intentional. Speaking on the topics of self-love, healing, and working from the inside out. She gives tools and strategies that can support evolution and transformation.
Yes.
She is also the author of Mastering the Sister Self to Master the World Around You, a self-help transformational book for those Black women wondering, where do I start? Heal Black Joy. Let's give a wonderful, wonderful welcome to Miss Nyabingha Zianni.
Yes. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you, ma'am. How are you?
I am blessed. I'm good. I feel like I've been in like this shedding, reflectional space, but it's all necessary for growth, development, evolution, and just stepping into your power at the fullest capacity. So I'm excited to be here.
Yes. I need my tribe. I need you to click like, and share. I want you to heart it up tonight. I want to get this conversation out to as many people as we can. So share it with your tribe. And I'm waving to everybody that is joining in. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We are talking about abundance mindset. And this month, we're wrapping up our mindset series. We talked about complete mindset, how the mind actually works. We talked about financial mindset. We talked about spiritual mindset as well as physical mindset. And now we are discussing abundance mindset with you, madam.
Yes, which is really a collection of all of those things in one.
Absolutely.
So, this is a beautiful conversation.
A beautiful conversation. A beautiful conversation. We posted a few quotes this week about abundance mindset, and I want to discuss some of them with you because I think you will give great insight to what we're, talking about, what abundance mindset is, and how do we need to move forward. So one of the quotes was from a healer and master, Wayne Dyer. Abundance is not something we acquire. It's something we tune into. So what do you think about tuning into the frequency of abundance?
Come on with the tuning into. First off, abundance is just a way of life. Right? It's gratitude. It's being able to practice gratitude even in those moments where you just don't got it in you, right? It's a way of faith and works. It's a way of being able to understand that you can literally have anything that you want as long as you're able to tap in to that abundance frequency, and as long as you're able to get out of your head, stop talking yourself out of your blessings, and really just connect with what it means to just effortlessly surrender and allow things to come to you. And you make sure you're also being mindful of what you're projecting. What you intake is what you project. What you attract is what you've been projecting. So all of these things in one have to do with you getting more in tune with self. I also like to call it the divine rhythm, right? And the divine rhythm is something that is inside of us. And we all have it as our birthright as Black women. It's this divinity that we have to tap into and that we have to grow. It is our birthright. Abundance is our birthright. Divinity is our birthright. So we just have to know how to nurture it. We have to understand that we are connected to an infinite source of wellness, abundance, health, financial, all of that stuff. We are connected to it. But in order to connect to it, you got to understand that you're actually worthy of it. If you don't understand that you're worthy of it, you aren't going to be able to get it, because you're going to keep on talking yourself out of it, You doubting yourself, you walking away from your blessings. And all you had to do was take one more step and you would have got it right there. But you stopped because you just couldn't fathom that. Am I really worth this? With all the trauma that I've been through, with all of the things that happened to me, am I really worth it? Well, I'm here to tell you today, you are worth it. But it's not enough for me to tell you. You got to see it for yourself.
Oh my God. You guys, it's already starting off. It's already jumping off with light love. Oh my God. Worthiness. Let's talk about worthiness, because you're speaking from a place of worthiness. What is it inside of us? What is it inside of our sisters that we feel that we are unworthy? I understand that it's my birthright. You understand that it's your birthright. But so many of our sisters, our collective, they don't understand that we are worth more than gold. We're here for a purpose, and we have to tap into the worthiness of it so that we can speak from a place of walking in it and walking in our abundance and speaking from a place of abundance and believing from a place of abundance. Talk to us about worthiness, and where does that unworthiness stem from?
Well, it's levels to that whole question. Okay. And I feel like in the space that I'm in, I have to have a constant reminder to myself that I'm worthy. So I just want to start off with that, so people don't think we just out here, oh yeah, I'm good, and that's what it is. No, it's a constant mindset. You got to always be reminding yourself, this is who I am. I'm not going to accept anything less than that. The second thing I want to talk about is there are levels to this conversation, because in my book, I talk about the breakdown of intergenerational trauma. Sometimes when we think about trauma, we go directly to our childhood, which is necessary. We have to address our childhood trauma. We got to heal the little girl on the inside, give her a hug, tell her it's going to be okay. But then we don't always talk about the ancestry trauma, right? We don't talk about slavery when it comes to not feeling worthy. Throughout the whole time of slavery, our ancestors were told that they were not even human, right? They were told that the only thing you're good for is to be cattle. You are literally an animal. And that gets into your mind so much so that they were looking down. They didn't even want to look people in their eyes. They were scared to talk back, and that's some but not all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these things that had to do with slavery, and some behaviors we don't even know of that are inside of our bloodline. And then you have now, where folks are kind of having the remnants of that trauma. And then they see the social media. They see all of these things telling them that you're not good enough. You're not beautiful enough. This is what the standard of beauty looks like. And it's not you. Yeah. So now you got all of these things, some of which you know of and you're aware of, some of which you are not aware of. Right. And your behaviors come from the subconscious aspect of your mind. So everything that you scrolling and taking in and all of this energy, it is going and it is producing your thoughts. Not only your thoughts of how you see the world, but your thoughts of how you see yourself. So now your perspective is holding you hostage. And now it's your prison. And you aren't able to see, I'm actually worthy, because you got all of these distractions telling you otherwise. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a piece of it. But there's layers, because everybody is different.
Everybody's different. I like how you said that you have to constantly remind yourself because of the layers, right? Because if we're forever going back and not even understanding that a lot of it is ancestral trauma that we subconsciously, we don't even know that it's there, right? So what do you do every day? Like, how do you remind yourself every day that you're worthy?
Whew, that's a beautiful question. Well, some practices that I have, one of them is like, of course, affirmations. And what I want people to understand that the healing journey is such a process. And the reason why it's such a process is because sometimes you might fall off. Sometimes you might have days where it's like, oh, I forgot to do my affirmations. But what I always go by is it's never too late. So anytime that I feel like I haven't done my sunrise ritual or my evening ritual, when I remember, I do it in that moment. Mm-hmm. I also practice gratitude every day. When I wake up, or in those moments where I feel myself waking up and I haven't even opened my eyes, I'm setting my intentions. I'm telling the Most High why I am thankful for waking up today. And then I hit it with my prayer. Okay. And that's something I have to do every single day. Gratitude is it's a hack. It's such a hack.
Ooh, that's a quotable.
I don't think people understand how powerful gratitude is. And I'm reminded every day. I'm driving down a street and I see people who have way less than me, who are just, some of them are smiling though. That's what really gets me. When you see the folks who are like, you would feel like they will be crying or they will be in so much pain, but they're just sitting there and they're just smiling. That kind of stuff like really sticks with me, and it makes me consistently do my gratitude, say what I'm grateful for, because it's people in this world that don't have what I have.
When I say you are so in flow, because my next quote is about what we're talking about right now.
Come on.
The next quote is from Eckhart Tolle, another thought leader. And he says, acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation of abundance.
Come on. It is. Like, when people understand how powerful it is to just focus, it's really the most power I find, and it's been as of recent, is to be present. And it's so difficult for folks. Like, but I seen a quote, and a piece of the quote said, when you're too busy worrying about the future, that's where your anxiety comes from. And that stuck with me because I was like having a lot of anxiety. I'm in a transition. I'm going into full entrepreneurship. I'm like, what's next? But when I just focused on being present, and not only being present, but I focused on what I have control over, that's when my life started to be like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I gotta pay attention to what I do have and what I can do. And in that alone, everything else is gonna follow how it needs to follow. And anything that's not for me, it's not for me. So I gotta close if the door closed, it was for a reason. That means I gotta keep on going this way, because it's another door with so much more abundance that I couldn't even fathom in the consciousness that I was in this moment. Right. So I cannot be mad at that. I just have to look at it as a blessing and keep walking even when it seemed hard.
Yeah. That's good. That's so good. You said gratitude is a hack.
It's a hack. It's a life hack.
I need y'all to drop down in the comments and say gratitude is a hack. Ooh, that's good. Okay. That's so good, man. Like, I don't think people understand that when you start really focusing on what's going on right now, you're very correct when you're saying that when you're thinking about the future, that gives you anxiety. Also, when you're thinking about the past, that gives you depression, because you're ruminating the thoughts of things that have already passed. You have no control over it. The past is gone. All you can do is say, you know what? This is what happened in the past. I need to move forward, right? I need to figure out, take the good, even in the bad, because a lot of times you learn from your mistakes. You learn from those things that are, are not so good. Like, if everything was like rosy and like brownie smelling every single day, peaches and cream every single day, how would we grow? How would we really learn? We got to be grateful for what's going on right now. Thank you guys for putting that in the chat. Gratitude is a hack. Heart it up, heart it up, and send this out to all of your family members and all of your friends, because I think if people understood what abundance comes from, The foundation of abundance, Eckhart Tolle says, is acknowledging the good that you already have in your life. People are so quick to like want to move on to the next thing. Like,
come on,
we so busy trying to get to the next level. We're so busy trying to do this and trying to do that, but we don't even understand that right now where we are is a blessing. Because somebody didn't wake up today, right? Somebody's not even going to go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow.
Come on.
So being in this moment right now, just appreciating the moment that you're in and being grateful for the moment that you're in, because you don't know what's to happen tomorrow, right? And somebody didn't wake up, but you did.
Right.
And sometimes we're laying there like, yeah, we speak things, right? Oh, man, I don't even feel like getting up this morning.
Right. And now your whole day.
You ain't even got into your first hour and you're complaining about not wanting to be in that moment, and there's somebody laying in their bed who cannot get up, wishing they had the limbs that you have to be able to get up. So gratitude is super duper important, man.
Yes.
So thank you for that. Gratitude is a hack. Gratitude is a hack. Someone says, gotta be stretched to meet the requirements. Yeah, thinking about the future gives anxiety. Thinking about the past gives depression. We have to live, think, and flow from the present moment. That is absolutely the case, you guys. Another quote that we had today this week was, when we give generously with an abundance mentality, what we give always will multiply.
Yes. I definitely believe that. And I also think there has to be a balance to that too, you know, because sometimes folks are giving and giving and giving. And I like to talk about the overflow. That's what I talk about a lot.
Let's go. Before you get into the overflow,
yes,
I need you to tap into giving, because I'll give you my personal story.
I think for me, giving is a necessity. And I also feel like that's a form for me of what I have control over. So when I find myself overwhelmed, burnt out, and struggling, I text people that I'm thinking about and I pour into them. I just give them love. I give them life. And I give them good energy, because if I'm struggling, I know somebody else gotta be. So if I just give them this light, maybe that can up my spirits and also up their spirits. I also understand the power of the fact that my gift is not for me, it's for other people. And I have to give.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, it's selfish.
Yeah. This whole entire mindset series has been just a continuity of the same conversation, even though we've been talking about different topics when it comes to mindset, but it all comes back stems back and comes back around to knowing that what you have and what you have to give is not necessarily for you. What is yours is tied to someone else. It's all about the collective. It's all about the community. And I want to talk about giving, but I want to share the story. And I know I'm talking to somebody, because this was me. Pouring out from a place that I didn't have it.
Come on.
There's so many of us where we give and give and give and give. You giving out a 5-gallon barrel, and the people that you giving to don't even have a thimble to a shot glass to give you back.
Whew, the reciprocity.
Let's talk about that law of reciprocity. Please understand, you guys, ladies, gentlemen, children, boys, and girls. When you give from your overflow. We have to give from our overflow. We can't give if you're giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and nobody's pouring back into you. You're literally going to give yourself away. You're going to give yourself out.
Come on.
Right? When do you get a moment where you get poured into?
Come on.
Because a lot of times people say, I'm worthy of giving, but they don't feel like they're worthy of receiving.
Come on. Come on, say it. Say it.
So it's you got to learn that if you have the ability to give, you also should be worthy of receiving. Because it's cyclical. It's a cycle. It's something that energy is a cycle. Money is a cycle of energy that you're giving out. So when you give begrudgingly, then that's why you're hoarding money. That's why you're blocking your blessings when you're hoarding on to money. When you give abundantly, you will get back, because energy is a flow of money. I mean, money is a flow of energy that comes back to you. It's when you understand abundance mentality, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's I'm giving from a place of my gifts, I'm giving my gifts away. Please understand that the abundance is coming back to you, and you're giving, but a lot of times you're giving and planting seed on soil that is not going to produce any fruit, because people don't understand the law of reciprocity. People will take from givers. They seek out givers, and they're called narcissists. And you have to be aware of those people. So let's talk about the law of reciprocity, and then let's talk about giving from your overflow.
So this is the thing about reciprocity. It's like it got to be a balance, because you're giving without wanting to receive back, right?
Right.
But you also got to know who to give to.
Woo!
Because you're not supposed to give to everybody, right? Your energy is not for everybody. Their energy is not always for you. And once you understand that, you'll be way more intentional with how you're giving your time, your energy, and all of that. And I like to call it my energy budget. And I'm on an energy budget, and everybody is not in my budget. And sometimes when I'm giving and doing, I have to remind myself to step back, check in with self, and kind of like reel it in and reprioritize where I'm putting my energy into. Because sometimes it's like, it's not even folks' fault when they're getting from you and they don't have the capacity to give it back. It's not their fault. They just haven't made it to that level to be able to give to you in the ways that you need.
Right.
That's why it is so important to have a circle. Let's talk about reciprocity when it comes to your circle. It's important to have a circle and to not be the smartest person in the circle. It's important to know your role and have a role within a circle to where you can pour into somebody and they can pour back into you. And it's not like you just giving to everybody in this circle and nobody is giving it back to you. That's the point of the collective. That's the point of community. Yes, you're on your individual journey. Yes, you are walking by yourself in some ways, but there are times and moments when you need to call on the collective. It's just what it is. You can't be by yourself. We are a people who strive and thrive in the collective. So that reciprocity is important to understand the individual goal, the collective goal, and to understand who you're supposed to give to. And not also understand that you're not supposed to save anybody but yourself. You're not supposed to save anybody. You're not supposed to transform their life. You're not supposed to do none of that. That is not your job. Everybody's job is to transform their own life. If you're giving tools, you're giving strategies, you're giving resources, that's beautiful. But do not put that burden on yourself, because you don't have control over anybody but you.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Heart it up, you guys. Heart it up and send this conversation out to your tribe if you haven't done so already. Having this conversation with the sister collective, Nyabingha. Hasn't this conversation been awesome, you guys? I mean, you were talking about the collective. Let's talk about the collective for a second, because I just read yesterday that there's about 8 areas that women really, really struggle with. And one of those areas is isolation. And it's, I don't feel like I need to share, and I don't need, I also don't feel like I can ask for help.
So, oh, go ahead.
What is that about? Talk to us about what is
ready.
that? What is that isolation problem that we have about?
Well, the problem is we don't understand the power of isolation. And we don't understand how it, well, balance is always going to come back into the conversation. And I have a chapter in my book, and it's called Isolation for Elevation. And I heard this phrase first from like Bishop Del Bronner. And basically it means that sometimes in your life, you're going to have those moments where you have to go inside of yourself and do that work to elevate to the space. Sometimes you're going to have to shed those seasoned people who are no longer in season. Sometimes you're going to have those moments where you're doing that spiritual check-in to say, sis, how is it going? Are you okay? You've been really irritable. You've been doing all these things. You need to check in with yourself. So the reason why I feel like it's levels, because sometimes it can also be just the Black woman, you know, operating in the space of the strong, super mom, super woman energy. And she wants to just do it by herself because that's all she's ever seen. That's all she's ever known. Right. And then when it comes to her actually needing to isolate to do the work on the inside, she can't differentiate the two because she's just been isolated all this time and not asking for help. And the reason why some Black women don't ask for help is because they don't feel like they're going to receive the help that they can get if they were just to do it on their own. And it comes back to that reciprocity where they're giving to people who cannot give in the same capacity or higher. So now you're telling yourself, it'll just be better if I do it by myself. It'll just be better if I do it by myself. Then we wonder why some people can't keep a man. You know what I'm saying? We wonder why we struggling to find relationships, be married, and all of this other stuff. It all comes back to that whole concept of trying to be a dominant woman and not being able to be like, okay, let's work together. Like people think submissive is just, okay, I'm gonna just do whatever you say. Submissive is being able to compromise and have a team and knowing what the role of your man is and what the role that you are. But if we're always in the space of I gotta get it on my own, that's all I ever seen. I had a single mother and all she did was do it by herself. So this is all I ever known. Then it's gonna be difficult to separate yourself from that mindset. It was difficult for me. My mom was a single mom. And in some ways, I was the man of the house. If we just want to be honest, like some of the stuff that I was doing.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
And then when I got with my man, he was like, you don't have to be that anymore. I'm the man now. I didn't understand that at first. I was confused. But people don't want to talk about that and name that because they want everything to be equal. And when we get into that feminism and all that other stuff starts getting confused at what's really being asked in the situation.
Right.
So,
right.
That's my long answer.
No. It's good. It's a good answer because this is what Heal Black Joy is about. It's about putting information in front of the tribe that either they haven't heard before or they heard it and it's confirmation that they need to hear it again because either they're struggling with it, they know somebody struggled with it, or they've struggled with it in the past. And they just need to get a refresher course on what's going on. This is, somebody said, I am learning this the hard way. Absolutely. We all are. I grew up in a 2-parent household. It was very traditional. And then I got into relationship as I became an adult, and I got into relationships with men who did not show me, a certain thing. And so from my vantage point, it was easier for me to do it by myself because, you've been hurt, scorned, whatever it was. And they didn't show up and be consistent and be loyal and be honest. And so I developed that mindset. I can do this by myself. I could do it on my own. I got married. That didn't work out. I'm a divorced single mother. but I struggled in relationships for a very, very long time because I had the mindset of doing it by myself and doing it on my own. So you are very much so right when it comes to understanding who you are and how you deal in relationship. And it's about what you saw growing up, what you modeled yourself after, and what your experiences have been and how you maneuver in those experiences as you continue to grow. So I think it's a very deep conversation that we're having right now, because a lot of women struggle in that area. We're struggling with our feminine and masculine energy, not knowing when to yield and be able to be soft, because we have this persona that we're supposed to be the strong Black woman. My very first conversation I had on IG Live was we were talking about the self-care journey for Black women, and my girlfriend simply said, she said, I don't want that moniker anymore. I don't want to be the strong Black woman. I want to be considered as being soft and feminine and being able to somebody to lead me sometimes. I lead all the time in my job, in my career. I don't want to have to come home and make every single decision, right? And so I think a lot of Black women or women of color, we struggle with that because of the environment that we grew up in, also the experiences that we're having now as adults. If you're struggling with that as a woman, I want you to put it down in the comments, because this is about an abundant mindset. If you don't feel like you're worthy of having a relationship, some of that is stemming from you not walking in your feminine energy.
That is real. All of that. All of that.
Yeah. Someone says, okay, I can understand that breakdown. Absolutely. What do you think about when you think about an abundance mindset? Talk to us about how women can get in relationships. What does that look like? Because a lot of times right now, what I'm seeing in the collective, women, I've seen this on social media, I've seen it in my own girlfriend circle. We are getting so doubtful when it comes to relationships.
I feel like we're getting so doubtful because there's a lot of things on social media to tell us that it's supposed to look a certain way. Right? And people are comparing themselves to other relationships, other people. And that's why it's so important to come back to being present and being centered and being focused on your journey and what that looks like for you. Because when you're so focused on this person over here, this couple over here, now you're comparing it to people who come into your life. You're giving expectations that are not realistic for the situation that you are in. You are asking of somebody that you cannot even give yourself. So then it's like these levels to it, and abundance is being able to be happy with what you have and being able to navigate within that and understand that the overflow is going to come and it's going to replenish. But when we don't understand that and we don't know that, then we aren't able to really walk in that understanding and really get the relationships that we are deserving of.
Yeah. I think that is very, very key. Someone said unrealistic and unspoken in most cases. It's not only unrealistic, but it's a lot of times it's unspoken. We don't have the verbiage we don't have the words to say sometimes. We will ruminate a thought in our mind, but we don't have the verbiage to even speak that to our partners, right? A lot of times it comes from shame or guilt or judgment or, anger, because of the unrealistic and unspoken things that we're thinking about, but we don't effectively communicate that with our partner.
And I feel like it's also a part of us not being able to articulate it for ourselves alone. When you can't name it for yourself and you can't say, like, this is how I feel, this is what's going on. I said something the other day, and I was saying sometimes, all you really need to do is be honest with yourself, and you can actually make it to a whole different level of quality in your life. But when you're not able to be honest, then how are you able to name your feelings and name your emotions? And sometimes you don't even have the words to do so. You can't articulate yourself in the way that you need, or you don't have the confidence to articulate yourself and to say, this is what it is. And you want to name that. So now you're struggling and you don't really know how to be like, hey, babe, like, this is how I feel. And I want you to hear me. And they're not going to take you serious because you don't take yourself serious.
You said something that just triggered a thought in my mind. So I'm putting it together because I'm a troubleshooter. Abundance is freedom, right? But you can't be free if you can't live in truth.
Come on.
You can't be free. So if you can't be truthful with yourself, then it's hard to live an abundant life. Because in order to be free, in order to be abundant, you must be free. And in order to be free, you got to live in your authentic truth.
That's free from expectations, free from all of these thoughts of that the media is telling you that you're supposed to be, free from just all of that negativity, that doubt. Anything that's walking you away and talking you out of your blessings, you have to free yourself from that. But the only way to do that is a constant journey. It's being able to work on your self-talk, being able to not like look at yourself in the mirror and think about negative things before you think about positive things. It's levels to it, but it's not just going to happen overnight, and it's not going to be no one fix. It's a constant journey. Healing is not linear. It's not. It's a rhythm. It's a harmony to it.
I want us to get to harp on this for a little bit, because I've had this conversation probably the last 2 months with my friends, and what I'm starting to see in my sister circle is that people, the more free you become, the shackles, it definitely is about shackles coming off, right? Whether that's from family, friends, career. When you realize what you are here to do and who you are, like, and you are standing flat-footed in your journey, your healing journey, you don't take less than truth, right? So with that, a lot of times the people that are closest to you will start looking at you funny, because your truth exposes whatever experience you've had with them, right? Now, from their vantage point, they might not see it the same way that you see it, right? But in order for you to be free, you have to tell that authentic, truthful story. And that upsets people. Talk to us about how to walk through that journey and be okay with walking through your journey and being free from the conversations or having to deal with people from your family, your friends, your lovers, your partners, your husband, your wife. You know, people don't understand that journey is a journey that you've got to take. And sometimes you got, like you said, you got to take that journey alone. It's an isolation process, even though you're going to come back to the collective.
Yes.
But people will look at you strange when you start your healing journey.
It's just all a part of the process. That's what transformation is. Lisa Nichols said, people want the convenience of transformation without the inconvenience required. And it's been sitting on my soul ever since I heard that, because people don't understand that you're going to have to let people go. And it's not going to be easy. Transformation was never meant to be easy. And when we start to understand that and we start to really connect and see the power in isolation, see the power in like letting people go and not trying to force a season that is already over, then you start to be able to attract that abundance and bring more of that energy into your life. But until you're able to be honest and see that that season is over, that person, not only the person, but the person that you were with that person or with that community, with that collective, until you're able to acknowledge that, own that and name that, you're going to be in the same space. If you're so worried about what everybody else got to say about you, it just goes back to the codependency, the validation, all of these different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's so funny that you're talking about that collective, you being a part of that thing that's holding you back, right? A few conversations back, we had a boundaries coach on, and I promise you, he said one thing in that conversation. I don't know if I remember everything in the conversation, but that one nugget he put in that conversation, I have taken with me from that day forward. And that is, and his name is Damian McGee. If you guys have not seen that IG live, go back and watch it. It's about boundaries. And he said in that IG live that we struggle with relationship versus allegiance. We struggle with relationship versus allegiance. We don't know the difference with relationship and allegiance. Allegiance is something that you pledge yourself to that doesn't necessarily render you any results. Whether I'm pledging allegiance to my family, my friends, the block, my hometown, my group, my church, my sorority, my whatever it is that we pledge allegiance to, but it might not render you the same results as it did when you started. And you have to know when you are not a part of that particular thing again, or that particular organization. When you've outgrown your friends, or you've outgrown your family, or you've outgrown that sister circle because you're trying to go on that healing journey, you don't stay in a situation just because this person has been my friend for 20 years. If it's not rendering you any results, that's not a relationship. That's an allegiance, right? How do we start clipping the cord on allegiances and really dealing with reciprocal type relationships and understanding the difference?
Well, first you got to go into isolation. You got to separate from the energy. You got to separate from just the aura of that community and that vibration in order to get in your own vibration to be able to focus. Because when you're in an allegiance, you have certain duties and requirements, right? That you have to give. That's talking to people every day on the phone who is draining you. That's listening to other people's problems, listening to how they depressed, and that depressed energy is coming into you and your relationships. So now you have to disconnect yourself from those people in order to see clearly. Once you can see clearly, you still have to go through a separation process, period. It's going to take you time. It took me about a year and a half to separate from a sister. I mean, going through talking about her, going through acknowledging that, oh, it was toxicity inside of me too. That's why we were aligned at that moment. Going through like all of these different thought processes of, okay, she's toxic, I was toxic. How do I disconnect from this toxicity? What was the toxicity, right? Acknowledging that root, then being able to work on it within myself. So when I step into my new season, because right now I'm in a spiritual transition, and when I step into my new season, now I'm able to stay here and not go backwards. But the first step of that is, of course, being honest, acknowledging it, and then you have to isolate to really get to the next level, period.
Absolutely. I know we've been talking about abundance, and Spirit has led us on a whole journey.
I know.
There's a flow to abundance. It's not about acquiring money or things or whatever. And a lot of times we speak from a place of scarcity and we don't even realize it. How do we break free from the scarcity mindset? A lot of times people say, I'm broke. You like literally put it out in the atmosphere that you're broke. Delete, universe, because I don't even want that even to go there, right? But it's something that we heard our grandmother say, or it's something that we heard our mothers and our fathers say. I ain't got it today, man. I ain't got it. But you're speaking it. You're putting that thing out into the universe. I was talking to the neuro-linguistic programmer about mindset, and I was telling her about a book that my father shared with me a long time ago a book called Hung by the Tongue, meaning, and the book's premise was everything we speak, we're putting out in the atmosphere. That's what speaking is. You're literally putting a frequency in the atmosphere that's telling the universe that this is what it is, regardless if it is your reality or not. Can you talk to us about being super careful and mindful of our conversation? Not only the conversation that we have with ourselves, but also the conversation that we have with others.
I just keep on thinking about the book, The Four Agreements, and like be impeccable with your word.
Right.
Ever since I read that book, it changed my life, because the example he gives about the mom being tired, the daughter was singing, and then the mom yells at the daughter, and now the daughter internalizes what the mom said for the rest of her life. It just has sat with me as a mother and just as a woman in the world. And I'm like, it's so important for me to speak life and to know that my tongue is powerful, and the words that I speak, the thoughts that I think. I don't only think it's important for us to be impeccable with our word, we have to be impeccable with our thoughts, because what you think also comes into fruition. Yes. It's all a part of the process. It's a, what we say, it's a rhythm. So when you understand the power of the rhythm, then you start to be mindful of, okay, I have to be so intentional with my words. I am not broke. The money is on the way. The money is already here. Thank you now that the money is in my pocket. Thank you now that this contract is approved. Thank you now that I already have this job. I was talking to a sister yesterday, and we had a one-on-one session, and she was telling me something, and she was just like, I hate the gym. And, you know, and I was like, no, you love the gym. Let's change that. You love the gym.
Right.
Yes, right here in your words, because the more you hate it, it's gonna be easier for you to talk yourself out of going to the gym every day. And it's a lifestyle. Okay. Yeah. Go get one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we just gotta be mindful of that, and we gotta be very intentional.
Not only be intentional, but, and it's like you said, it's about what you're thinking, it's about what you're speaking, but it's also, I'm a big fan of writing things down, writing it down. I script out. I love it. I script out everything. And when you script, you guys, if you start scripting and you get into scripting, or I'm actually going to be doing a planner about scripting. But when you get into scripting, you have to write it from the present as if you already have it. You don't write it from a place of I want it, because that's from a place of needing it, which is from a place of lacking it. So you want to write it from a place of already having it. I have this. I am this. Not I want this. We don't want anything. We have, we are, it is, right? So I know we're getting down to our last couple of 10 minutes of our conversation. What are you working on now? Like, what is something that you're working on now with the Sister Collective? I know you do a show several times a week, and you talk to a bunch of different sisters about what we are experiencing in our lives, whether it's our health, our relationships, our career. What is it that you are working on that we need to tune into and that we need to be a part of?
So I have my sisterhood series, which is something on Instagram, but I'm kind of like in the process of giving myself a break for a week to kind of like reboot, call in some new sisters into the space and stuff like that, and just to rethink some of the topics and stuff. But you know, that's something I do. It's every Wednesday, 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:00 p.m. Central, and 9:00 p.m. Eastern. So that's the thing I do. I also do something called Self-Love Saturdays, where I bring on different women to kind of like just tell their story and talk about their journey of self-love. And I just ask one question, and that question kind of steers the conversation. And then I have my book, which is coming out very soon. It's on pre-sale now, Mastering the Sister Self to Master the World Around You. And I have some more stuff coming out, but it's still in the brainstorming brainstorming phase. And I'm thinking about bringing my sister circles back, which was a Zoom version of what can happen in person. And I kind of took a break on that to focus on other things. And I'm also just being present as a mommy and trying to spend more time with my daughter. We set up a little homeschool, little section. So I'm just trying to like be intentional with my time and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like
that. And I love that. You know, I know you're like, oh my God, my child is in here. No, I love it. I love it. We are a family here. I'm a mother. Hi, baby. Hill Black Joy. Y'all speak to the baby. Say hey.
She is in everything.
Look,
every time
we've got more hearts. She should have been in here a long time ago. We've got more hearts than she's been in. So, you know what I mean? Like, we love the babies. We love the kids. We love the kids, right? Yes. And it's a journey. We're mothers. We get it. We understand. It is a journey. And I love everybody say, hey, pretty girl. Hey, princess. Everybody's saying hey. I love it. Being a mother, becoming a mother, you know, that is a journey within itself, right?
Yes, it is.
It is the most transformative journey, I would say. And if you could say from an abundant mindset, how has motherhood changed your mindset when it comes to abundance?
Well, I feel like something that's a part of abundance is patience and being able to understand that timing is everything. And sometimes the timing that you think is supposed to happen is not necessarily what they say was in the cards. So my daughter, especially having a toddler, okay, and having to deal with tantrums every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Asking me to put on shoes every 5 minutes, the same shoes. It's just, it taught me a lot of patience, and it's helped me like be more intentional with being present. And that's why I feel like I've been so focused on that and really like talking about that.
And she's giving us a song.
Look, and she gonna take over the show. This is why I had her go to the park with her daddy. But here we are. So that's what I would say. I would say patience and just being present and just enjoying the moment and like looking at those moments where she is like laughing, or when she learns something new and she gets excited, or when she puts on some new shoes and she's telling everybody about it when we go to the store. Just seeing the innocence within her.
It's the beauty
to the abundance.
It's the beauty of it, because the thing about children is they don't have a filter, right? So they see things through these rose-colored glasses. Everything is fun and confetti and beautiful. And I love that about children. I think it is one of the most precious gifts that we have, is seeing things through the eyes of children, because they don't have that jaded thought process that we have from the experiences of growing up, from hurt and pain. And, you know, we try to shield them from the things that we've experienced in our life. And so those are just like the beautiful nuggets of the world, to be able to experience life through a child's eyes and through a child's energy. And I thank you for even giving us that experience of having her on, because it brightens up, you know, the energy of the room. So thank you for that. This conversation has been absolutely fabulous and beautiful as always. Man. You are you're such a light in this community, and I appreciate you for sharing your time, your energy, your peace, your aura, your experience with us. We're forever grateful for you for coming on and sharing your experience and expertise with us. I want you guys, Heal Black Joy, to go follow the Sisters Collective, because she is awesome. Nyabingha, it's been a wonderful conversation to have with you.
And just as much as you just show some love to me, let me show some love to you, because I believe in reciprocity. I feel like every time, like, I like to call myself sometimes like a master curator. And I feel like you can also take on that title because the people that you have on and just the conversations that you have, they speak to my soul every time. So I try to pop in when I can. That mom one, y'all have me going on that one.
Yeah,
so
man.
I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing. And I love to connect with beautiful Black women who are aligned and who know this is my purpose. This is what I'm doing. And we could just show respect. We can come on each other's platforms and just share our love, share our light. But you are such a light as well in our community as a Black woman. And I would love to connect and work together more and more, but you're amazing. And I just want to let you know that.
Thank you, sister. I say the same thing for you. You are simply amazing. I love what you're doing for our community. And light attracts light. That's how we found each other. And we're gonna continue to heal our Black joy. Please, you guys, go follow Nyabingha. I have her information on my page. Make sure that you go follow. As always, follow us at Heal Black Joy for our content. If you want to be the first to know about webinars, lives, group coaching, workbooks, and more, I want you to go to our bio and put your name in so you're on our list, our emailing list. We are revamping our website right as we speak. So you will be the first to get all the dibs on everything Heal Black Joy. And if you like our content, please click like and share the content out. Go back to our Instagram live TV or IG TV and check out all the conversations that we've been having on Thursday nights at Heal Black Joy. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in for another wonderful show. And thank you again, Nyabingha, for coming on and sharing your expertise and love with us. We really appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Peace and blessings. Bye.